Greetings, Breakthrough Alliance family. This is the school year program overview for October the 17th. You will receive this Google Doc, which will contain the lesson plans and the schedule for the school year program. Our first Super Saturday is again October the 17th, and it's only for 7th and 8th grade. So if you're teaching social emotional learning, you're going to be teaching the 7th grade students first at 9 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock you will receive the 8th grade students. During the first 15 minutes of the schedule, it is allotted for morning minutes, and it will be approximately 15 minutes. I will facilitate morning meetings where we will go over some virtual norms and my expectations for the school year program. And the students will also say their affirmation. Again, all of this will be provided to students. Their schedules will be sent, so no pre-work that is required for you on the logistics aspect of the school year program. That will be handled. Afterwards, you're going to dive in to the social emotional lesson plan. This theme for October the 17th is social health, and we're focusing on relationships, the students' relationships. So the guiding question is, what is social health and why does it matter? The standard is the National Health Standards 1.8.2, which focuses on interrelationships of emotional, intellectual, physical, and social health in adolescents. Their academic vocabulary, students should be able to understand and explain what is social health and what are relationships. Their final product, once they have completed the lesson, they will complete a practice, the skilled or an independent practice short activity, which is just a summary of how social health impacts other aspects of their well-being. And they also will be able to demonstrate mastery if they are able to explain what is social health and why it matters. This is a breakdown of the agenda. It is 50 minutes. The do now should take no longer than 5 minutes. The hook, 10 minutes, you're going to utilize a Web 2.0 tool to implement the hook. So that may take time for students to access a tool and then use a interactive bulletin board such as Jamboard or Padlet to post their submissions, but it's a way to engage the students. But it should take no longer than 10 minutes. Then 15 minutes to build the skill, 15 minutes to investigate, which is student-centered, such as or an independent assignment. And then the exit ticket and closure should take about 15 minutes. So I want you to initially go over the purpose. Why are we looking at social health? You're going to start off with explaining to the students, today we will explore what is social health and why does it matter. You're going to review social health as one of the components of the 8 dimensions of wellness. So simply explicitly say social health is a component of the 8 dimensions of wellness, and you will have a link to show them like this is a wellness wheel. And what the 8 dimensions of wellness, the purpose of them, it's to basically recognize and achieve wellness, both in the workplace and just in your overall life. And so there are ways in which you need to understand an effective well-being or healthy and being stable in your emotional, environmental, financial, intellectual, occupational, physical, social, spiritual bodies. So these are various components, and we're looking at your social status. How are you? How is your health in regards to interacting with others, interacting with yourself, and your environment? So we're focusing on that in regards to adolescents' well-being. So for their do now, they're simply going to answer the question, why is it important to have friends? How has having friends helped you during the pandemic and the start of the school year? This can be a quick discussion where students can write their answers in the chat box. They can unmute as well. And you can also use a random name selector in order to engage students into the discussion. Of course, students are going to be maybe apprehensive to engage in conversations via the Zoom link or the platform. And so Wheel of Names is a quick engagement tool. It's free. You're going to be directed to wheelofnames.com. The link is embedded into the lesson plan, and you can simply, quickly, once you get your name of your students, you can type their name into the box towards your right on the screen, and then you can simply spin the wheel. It will stop. You can click it again so that it can stop, and it will choose the student that you can call. This shouldn't take long. You can remove it so that you know that student 3 was answered a question. So you can do this while they're doing their due now. You can always go back and add a student. I missed student 4. And then once all of the students have gone, you can shuffle them. You can sort them from A to Z. You can remove them if need be, and you can paste them back. So very simple to use, a great tool for engagement, especially as you're getting to know your kids. So you can ask them that do now question, and then you will be able to go into your hook. Just a quick way for them to kind of engage non-verbally, but you can ask them to use a GIF to describe their friend group. Please make sure their images are appropriate. And you can like Google friends having fun or something in Giphy. I gave you the link. You can drop the link into the chat so that they can retrieve the link. They can type in their own GIFs. It's a fun way to see like what different GIFs they come up with. And then they can post it to a Padlet. It's very easy to create a Padlet or a Jamboard, which is our online bulletin boards. And those links are on the lesson plan template as well. So as you can see, if you go under technology and resources, I'll go ahead and give you those links as well. So Jamboard is another way for you all to be creative. And this is a Jamboard that I created for elementary. You can contact me if you need some tutoring or some one-on-one training on how to use Jamboard or Padlet. So again, this is the Padlet that I created, and you can ask them to post their name, or it could be anonymous, but make sure that when you're sharing this link out to students to add their Padlets, so you're going to create your own using your Gmail account, that you're going to change privacy and make sure it's public so that they can actually edit and add on their information as well. So once they added their hook, they can, briefly describe why they chose it. Maybe somebody put a picture of somebody being very dramatic. Maybe your friend group is super dramatic. Maybe somebody put a chill friend group. You just can ask them to explain, give some quick anecdotes about things that their friends do that makes them similar to whatever the gift is in that they describe them as. Then you're going to actually build the skill, and this is a We Do section, a collaborative piece. You all are going to go through the slide presentation together, and so the slide presentation is provided to you, and you are going to be able to look at the speaker notes. Some of the slides have speaker notes to help guide you through. So let's quickly look at the presentation. Again, it has some slides for welcome. I'm going to embed the do now and the hook so that it'll just be easy for you to transition to the actual building the skill component. Going over the learning goal is recommended for the students, letting them understand the purpose of the lesson. And then they're going to go into the definitions of social health. So social health is generally speaking relationships. What are your relationships and understanding them? So looking at having healthy relationships, knowing you belong and being able to connect, and having healthy relationships is key to living a thriving life. So not only should students know what social health is, but why is it important? So these additional slides will tell you that it helps us build a support system dealing with challenges in life. It is fun when you are having people to experience things with. You can accomplish more collaboratively than doing it alone. So it's about teamwork, having people in your corner, people that you can depend on, people who can build positive relationships is so important at this stage and age of their development. And it's important that you can kind of go and provide additional details based on maybe your personal experiences as well. Super helpful to do. Again, they also need to know what a relationship is. It is when two or more people share a mutual bond or connection. So the key word is mutual, a mutuality. So making sure that you have relationships with people who want relationships with you. And at this age, it's very important to know that you shouldn't be pressing for a relationship or having to fight hard for a relationship. It just should be somebody who mutually respects you and want to build a connection with you in a positive way. So what relationships do you have in life? So again, the speaker note says that it could be a group discussion. They can drop the comments in the chat. Just being able to expand upon this question, elaborate on how your relationships look in your life. How do they look in school? What types of relationships that you all have? And some students may not be as forthcoming, but you do not have to keep probing. Just allow them to put in the chat and you can move on. This piece is a group discussion component of the building the skill. Should take about 7 minutes. So after students have identified their various relationships, you're going to explore social health and why it matters. So you're going to separate them in groups of 4, maybe creating 2 breakout rooms. You're not going to have classes that are extremely big, but you're going to simply ask students what they're going to do is answer each question prompt based on their respective letter. So in every group, you will have someone who is assigned A, B, C, and D. And if there are A, B, C, and D, they're going to look at the discussion prompt and they're going to be asked to answer that question. A tip for breakout rooms is to share this slide presentation with them or share the actual questions with them, and I can give those to you so that when they go into the breakout rooms, they can share the screen and they can answer those questions within their group. So they can just speak to discussion prompt 1. How do you feel when you're connected to people and you know you belong? Discussion prompt 2. How do you feel when you're disconnected and you are alone? Discussion prompt 3, how has various relationships in your life supported you during the start of the school year? And discussion prompt 4, how has virtual learning impacted your social health relationships? So give them time to answer this question and then come back into the main room and have some open dialogue about why their answers were to some of these questions, what prompted them to respond in a certain manner. You don't have to really pry as much, but just let them be open and honest. You can randomly say if someone in either group answered the question B, those people who answered question B or question C, can you elaborate on what you said in your group and share it with the whole group? Okay. After that, you're going to watch a video on the importance of social connections. A quick 1.5 minute video animated on social connections and just talking about social health and why it's important. Then you're going to review on these next slides, review why social health matters. And then they're going to do an exploration activity. So they're simply going to look at social health after they watch the video, had the group discussion, and they're going to look at the 8 dimensions of wellness. And they're going to see how social health impacts that dimension. So again, they can choose one. They're not going to choose from a card because we're not in person, but they can say, well, maybe physical health. Well, having positive relationships, taking care of your body so it's working at the optimal level. Well, I need friends who are healthy, who like to exercise and work out with me. So it's important for me to have people who value their physical health, people who do not, abuse maybe drugs, who eat healthy so that I can maintain a healthy lifestyle as well. If time permits, you can also ask them to discuss incidents in the media that illustrated healthy and unhealthy examples of social health. And then as your exit ticket, you can ask them to explain what is their definition of social health and wrap up with your closure. That is the end of the social emotional learning lesson.